Class, today we are going to be working on a new topic. Okay? So, in chapter 6, lesson 6, we talked about some math problems that deals with discount, markup. Someone give me a few more. Yes.
Profit.
Profit.
Simple interest.
Simple interest.
Percent.
Percent discount. Yes.
Commission.
Commission. Yes.
Sales tax.
Sales tax. So these are all the vocabulary words that we learn in chapter 6, lesson 6. Today I'm going to talk about specifically tip, which is something we talked about but did not spend a lot of time on. So first of all, on your line paper, which you have on your desk, write down the lesson on tip. In another word, retributive. Okay. Here's our goal today. Our goal today is to learn about tipping. Please copy them down on your paper. Learn about tipping. It's actually in lesson 6.6 and our California standard that you're learning. It's number sense 1.7. So these are just some extra information for you to know that this lesson, the goal is to learn about tipping, and the lesson is in your chapter 6, lesson 6, and also the California standard that you're learning on is number sense 1.7. So before we start, I would like you to draw a little wiggly line 1/3 of the way. Let's go over some questions. For example, first one is, what is tip? If you can, please spend just a few seconds talking to your neighbor, someone next to you, about what is tip. So please do some sharing. When do you tip somebody? What is tip?
Extra money you give for your service performed.
Okay, if I can have your attention in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, back here. Okay, if you can please share. A volunteer. Share, yes. To appreciate someone. But what is tip though? That's why you're tipping, right? But what is tip? Anthony?
Money you give to the waiter.
Okay, so if you go to a sit-down restaurant and you give a little extra money to the waiter who's helping you, that's tip. Okay, so it's money you give to the server on top of the total bill. When you're copying this down, please think about what is total bill. What is total bill? Anthony?
The total of the meal.
Total of the meal. Thank you.
Total money.
Total, how much the meal costs, yes?
Yes.
How much the meal costs with tax. Okay. Let's go on to the next question. Why tip? Please take a few seconds, talk to your neighbor. Why tip? thank the server. To show we appreciate the server. Yes,
To help them with their job.
to help them with their job. Why?
Because they don't make that much money.
Because they don't make that much money. How much is minimum wage?
$8.
$8. So then, since they don't make, most servers or waiter or waitress make less than $8, then that means that they depend a lot on their tip, right? So due to that, we need to help them. So help server. Help server do what?
Make a living.
Make a living or make more money? We can do that, make more money. Okay. Question, do we have to tip? Take a few seconds, talk to your neighbor. Do we have to tip?
No, it is optional.
Okay, let me call the name. Connie, do we have to tip?
It is optional.
It is optional, thank you. Optional. In most cases, you do. Most cases, you should. Okay. I'll let you copy this down. The next question is, what percent of the meal do we tip them? How much should we tip them? As you finish this, then you just write down the next question. How much percent should we tip? Volunteers? Carlos?
It varies from 15 up to 20%.
It varies from 15 up to 20%. So can I tip less than 20? Can I tip less than 15 if I want to?
Yes.
More than 20?
Yes.
So, do you think 15 is the minimum? 15 is average. So what is the lowest if that's considered decent? Yes. 10%. I would say it would be between 10%, 15 to 20%, or even more. Arrow going up. Okay? %, would be considered as okay, you know, service was okay. What's 15%? It would be the average. Or even good. How about 20% or more? Great. Okay. I'm going to give you a math example. A while back, I asked you guys to bring in customer copy receipt of dine-in restaurants that your family or you, anybody you know that attend. So I would like you to remember how I told you to bring in these customer copy restaurant receipts. So I'm going to show you one example, and I'm going to give you an experience. Know that this is an experience that I am just making up for the math problem. So it did not happen, but I want you to use your imagination that what happened if it did happen. Okay, what will you do? So I'm going to have to slide this over. Okay, right now if you take a look, This is a cafe, an Asian cafe called Bakali Cafe. Okay. At this moment, the purchase price after eating there, it was $45.83. So before we even talk about how much tip, let me share this experience with you. So when I went into this restaurant, I sat down, and it took me a while to wait for the waiter to come to ask me what kind of drinks do I want. So I sat there for a long time, and I waited, and the waiter was just really busy doing other stuff. By the time the waiter came, the waiter asked me what kind of drinks I want and took my orders, and then that was it. And then he went off and doing his thing because there's a lot of people. And then finally the drinks came, and I saw the food was out, but it was sitting there. And the waiter was not around to pick it up to give it to me. And I don't want to go up and just pick up the dish myself. So I just waited. And by the time the waiter picked up the dish and delivered it to me, the food was already not as fresh. It was not as warm and as good as it is because it was kind of just sitting there for a while, so it's now a little bit cold. But it was a busy day. What should I do? Let me add too. But when I do need to drink water, and I raised my hand for it, the waiter did come. By the time that the waiter saw me, he did come and provide me more waters and for my drinks. So in this case, how much should I tip? Yes.
13%.
13%. Want to share why?
Because you didn't do that much of a great job.
Okay. So the waiter did not do that much of a great job. So instead of tipping 10, I'll give it between 10 to 15, right? So make it 13. So let's write down the problem. It's a Bakali Cafe. So at this moment, the total is $45.83. We agree as a class? Is 13 okay? 13% tip. So the question would be, what is 13% tip of $45.83? Joel, in math, the word of, what does it mean? To multiply. So of is multiply. Can I just multiply 13% times $45.83? Can I just do that? What do you think, Jolie? Well, I can't multiply 13% yet because it's in percent form. So here's 13. Where's the decimal point if I don't see it? And then you move 2 times to the left. So now it's 0.13. What do I do now?
You multiply it by the total you take.
So I'm going to write down how much?
$45.83.
$45.83 multiplied by 0.13. Okay, please help me do the math. Ready? Okay.
3 times 3 is 9.
Okay.
3 times 8 is
The 4 here, 2 on top.
4. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 0 is 17.
Put the 7 here, 1 on top.
12,
4
13.
times 3 is 12, add 1 is 13. And then 0 for the second line.
3 times 1 is 3.
Okay.
8 times 1 is 8.
Okay.
5 times 1 is 5.
Okay.
4 times 1 is 4.
Okay.
And you add them.
I add them up. What do I get?
9,
9,
7,
7, 15. Put the 5, 3, 1 on top.
9,
9,
and 5.
5. How many decimal place?
4.
Because there's 2 on top, 2 at the bottom. So at the very end, tell me when to stop. 1, 2, 3.
Stop.
Okay. So right now it is $5 and it is 9579 at the end. What should I do? Since I'm talking about money.
You round it.
Okay. From where?
From the 7.
You get the 7, which is the what place? What place value is that? This is 10. This is hundreds, thousands place, and then what do I get?
96 cents.
Since it's 7, that means it's 5 or more. I add 1 to the 5. So it's about, what is the tip?
$5.96.
charge you a MasterCard or credit card, they will show you the total without the tip. You would have to add in $5.96 as your tip, and then right here is doing yourself. So how do I find the total with the tip? Yes?
You add the tip to the total.
I add the tip to the total. So what is the total without the tip at this moment?
$45 with 83 cents.
$45.83, and you're going to add to
$5 with 96 cents.
$5.96, which is the tip. What do you get? Yes?
$51.79.
$51 and?
$51.79.
Okay, can you do the math for me? How do you get it?
You add 3 and 6, you get 9.
Okay.
You add 8 and 9, you get 17.
Put the 7 here, 1 on top. Bring down the
This one,
and then.
you add 5 and 10. 5 and 5, you get 10. And you
Okay.
add 1, you get 11.
Okay.
And you put the 1 over 4, and you add 5.
So your total with the tip is now, yes, $51.79. Not bad. Okay, so this is one scenario. What's going to be happening is I'm going to show you another scenario and you're going to try it. Okay? So please write example 2 on your paper. So at the bottom of this part, please write math example 2. Okay, I'm going to show you another one. Here's another cafe. Yes. Yes. So if you look at this example, this is Garden Cafe. Example 2. So let me share you this story. I went to eat at this restaurant, and when I was seated, the waitress, as she is her, came by and right away asked me what kind of drinks do I want and what kind of appetizer do I want. What is appetizer? Yes.
Food you eat before you get here.
Yes, it's kind of like mini snacks. Something you eat before your actual meal, just so you're not so hungry. So then when the waitress came and asked me what type of drinks I want, what kind of appetizer do I want, it was pretty quick, so we ordered.
Shania, did you go please report to the office?
So pretty much she took our orders, and then as she goes off and get the orders in, which is the appetizer and the drinks, we were able to have our time to think about what type of food we want, our entree, which is the main dish. So then by the time the waitress came with the drinks and with the appetizer, she was ready to take our orders of the meal that we want. So isn't that pretty good? It's kind of like instead of waiting for a long time for the waitress to get our orders, the waitress came already with the drinks, with the appetizer, so we can actually get started on eating a little bit while we wait for the main dish to come. In addition to that, when I was just sitting there and talking with my friends, I didn't even have to ask. The waitress just came by, poured water in, knowing that it was empty, and then make sure all our utensils, make sure that we have our forks, make sure we have everything that we need. I didn't even have to ask. The waitress just knows what I was missing. So, how much tips should I give? Yes.
20%.
20%. Yes, you can give 20%, that's considered excellent, or I can even give more if I want to. So in this case, right now, what I want you to do is, I would like you to write down the total, which is how much? $13.43. Here. Math example 2, it's Garden Cafe. Okay, the total that was stated up there was $13 and how much?
43 cents.
43 cents. The tip we want to give is how much? 40. How should I write my question? Who can help me? How can I write my question? Yes.
So it's 20% of $13.43.
What is 20% of $13.43? Okay. Okay. Before we even do this, before you even go on and do it on your own, who can just tell me verbally how should we solve this problem? How how should we find out the tip and the total with the tip? Yes?
Multiply them. We multiply the tip and $18.42, but we have to make the percent into a decimal.
So change the percent to decimal. In this case, it will be point what? 0.20 or 0.2, which is the same. And then multiply that by,
$18.42.
after you multiply that, that is your what? What is that? After you multiply these two numbers together, what do you get?
You get
You
tip.
get your tip. So once you get your tip, do you leave just paying your tip? What do you do? Yes.
You add the tip to the total.
You add your tip to the total of the meal, so this way now you have your total price with the meal and the tip and the tax, right? We will work on this more tomorrow because we are running out of time. But right now, before we end this, I want to ask you a question. When we tip, do we tip them with the tax included or not include the tax? What do you think? Because when you look really fast, if you just look at right here, you see this? Do you see tax? Is included. So right now we are counting the tip with the tax included. Here's a question really fast before I dismiss you. Think about it. A, we pay the tax with we pay the tip with the total include the tax, or we pay the tip with the total not include the tax. What do you think? Ready? A, you pay the tip including the total with the tax. Like what we are doing right now. Okay, hands down, without the tax. Hands down. Okay, to tell you this truth, this question is debatable. Most people find the tip with the total include the tax. Okay, some people decide to not include the tax. That's really kind of up to you. But most cases, what do? You can tell me. Most cases, what do you calculate with? Yes. You pay the total with the tax. But that can be discussed more next week. All right.